Hey, it's another Sound Science, episode 12. If you're keeping count, I'm probably got that wrong. And today we got a best-selling author. Yeah, you've already seen him on Paranoid American podcast, Shane Cashman. Maybe you're looking at his face and you're like, it looks familiar. You probably read his fire tweets that he also reposts on Instagram. Maybe he's on Timcast. Maybe it was the Bret Easton Ellis. Maybe it was Dr. Drew. Maybe it was my homies Alex Stein or Sam Tripoli or Tony Merkel at the Confessionals. He's all over the place, anywhere that you want to hear something interesting. So now he's with us. So it's just automatically interesting. So thank you for spending some time with us, Shane.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm stoked to talk about music.
It's going to be fun. And honestly, I only heard, I think, one of these bands that you brought up today. So, sick. Jules, have you heard of any of the albums that Shane told us to talk about today?
I've seen Poison the Well. I know about At the Drive-In and Pantera, obviously.
Yeah.
So the full list is Pantera, Far Beyond Driven from 94. And then we've got At the Drive-In, Relationship of Command from 2000. And then we've got Poison the Well, Poison the Well opposite of December is 1999. That comes right before that. Oh, right. Sawtooth, Grin, Cuddlemonster. And then Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want. I've heard of Pantera, and I was a little bit shocked. There was like no Kanye West on this playlist. What's going on, Shane? Have you fully severed yourself?
No, I love Kanye's albums. Okay. Those were my favorite albums. But I was thinking about ones I don't get to talk about enough that I love dearly. And I talk about Kanye all the time. I wrote that story, and I love Twisted Fantasy and Yeezus and Donda is my favorite Kanye album. But Pantera is kind of like the beginning of my love of music.
Good, and that's a good point too. Just to clarify, whenever we talk about albums on this particular show, it's not necessarily like the top 5 albums of all time, because also that's a weird thing to commit to on a Wednesday afternoon. Like, all right, this is it. These are my 5 favorite albums. Like, it might change by tomorrow. It might change depending on the mood that you're in. So, what theme would we be going with today?
Antagonism.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
You antagonizing you, or you antagonizing the world, or just all the above?
All the above. Antagonizing the people who already like you, antagonizing the people who don't like you, antagonizing yourself. All these bands are very stubborn and antagonistic. And also, I was thinking about location. Each of their locations is very important to their sound.
Hell yeah.
Interesting. How so? Give us a little preview of what you mean by that.
A band like Daughters is from Providence, Rhode Island. And if you've ever been to Providence, Rhode Island, it's just weird, absurdist, like industrial place. And that's what that band sounds like to me. Kind of like when where David Lynch spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh and made Eraserhead. It's the same type of vibe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then like El Paso, El Paso, Texas, for At the Drive-In, it affected them. Like the places where we grow up has a profound effect on the things that we make, if you make music and if you write. So Texas in general for Pantera and At the Drive-In is a very crucial character in those bands' mythologies.
Absolutely. I guess I didn't consider that. That's actually a great point.
And you're in a band too, right, Shane?
Yeah, I was in a pretty heavy death metal band for about 10 years. Sick. I sang in that. That was fun. And then right now I have a band. It's called the Joy Feed. I just put out an EP that we recorded years ago, but that's more like just rock, and I'm attempting my best to sing in it. But yeah, I have that as well. And I've made some other things throughout the years, but the people who know me from music probably remember my metal band. We used to tour a bunch, but it was like we would play.
What were y'all called?
We were called Mabus, M-A-B-U-S. And we stopped playing before Facebook and Twitter were a thing. So this is a long time ago.
Oh, I grew up. I started playing hardcore in 2006. And I live in Mississippi. I don't know if you ever toured around here or anything.
Yeah, we did play Mississippi in 2002. I forget where. I think it was a skateboard park or something. It was amazing.
36.
Yeah, because we're from New York, so. New York, where we were in New York, was just north of the city. So everyone's kind of spoiled. All the people who play music come through the city, and you have access to all these great venues and bands. And then there's other places we were playing, if it was like in Alabama or somewhere in the middle of Kansas, that they don't get music all the time. So like a band like us who really we couldn't draw a big crowd, but we were, you know, a small crowd. They were stoked because it was live music and we were loud and we just had, you know, fun.
It never mattered, dude, to have a big crowd. It was fun just playing in someone's garage to like, you know, 25, 30 people.
100%.
You know, always. Those were always the best shows. So that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Man.
I miss playing music. It's my favorite of all the things.
I've been playing drums for over 20 years now, man. It's been about, I'd say it's been probably 3 or 4 months since I've played. So I need to step.
And I just realized two things. I mentioned your Eraserhead, and I think I see a sticker for Eraserhead behind you.
Yeah, it's a poster. Yeah, it's actually a cutout that you could cut out and put on like a. Yeah,
that's awesome. And what was your band name?
Well, I was in a band in the 9th grade called Unsinkable. So like a traditional hardcore band, kind of positive hardcore.
Yep.
We covered Infest. So
nice.
Yeah. Then I was in a band called Low Life.
Cool.
When I was in high school, same thing. Integrity, Think I Care. I don't know if you've ever heard of those bands.
Integrity, yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Absolutely.
And then I sang for a band called Ankle Biter. It was kind of like death metal mixed with sludge. Like I can't really describe it. I was on numerous amounts of drugs. You know, my senior year. So I don't remember any of the shows I played.
Well, it sounds like we have a lot in common around that
sure.
age group and the things we were doing and the music we were doing it with. So
yeah, I tried so hard to be in a punk band, but I had like played piano since I was 3, kind of, and I kept playing, and I stopped around 12 or 13 when someone made fun of me like one time, and I was like, oh my god, identity crisis, right? And then I tried getting into a punk band, and I learned bass and I learned guitar. And I just wish going back I had the foresight to just be like, no, I'm just going to play keyboard. We'll do a punk band with a keyboard. But that it was a little bit unheard of in the mid to late 90s. I'm sure they were out there, but it felt weird too. Like I didn't know if I was going to go up on the hardcore stage after these guys were just going crazy. And then I set up my little Casio, my Yamaha DJX. And
one of my favorite early, like, I don't know what you call them. I hate genres. Like people call them grindcore, but I never really like that phrase. But The Locust is a band I love, and The Locust had synthesizer in their act, and it was they were the most sinister band, and they were dressed as locusts.
Dude, some people consider them power violence.
Power violence is a better.
I'm learning so many names of these like so-called genres on this show, bro. Like the very first episode that Jules was on, I learned like 12 new genres that I didn't even know existed. So today's so different.
Doom metal, death metal, you know,
all of it, bro.
We got it all.
Stoner metal,
awesome, Shane.
Started,
yeah. But metal's my favorite.
Speaking of music and genres, and we're going to keep going, but everybody swap over to Rumble because YouTube will take us down within like 5 seconds of me playing the first video. And we want to actually listen to the music in context.
Yes, we do.
Even it, and then talk about it. So I'm going to play a quick little interlude. I'll give you guys a chance to go over to the Rumble channel. Just go to Rumble, search Paranormal American. I'll see you in a second.
This is intermission. YouTube's got us under suspicion. What's the secret? Oh, what's the plan? You'll find it on Rumble with Paranoid American. Oh, they're shutting us down. Doo-doo-doo, but we're still around. Hop on a Rumble, take a stand, shoot-bop, Paranoid American. Paranoid American, shoot-bop,